Welcome all of you in online teaching learning process. We have started paper number 13 from the semester 6 and the name of the paper is inorganic chemistry, and we have started unit number 2 nuclear chemistry. And in our last video we have seen details about the use of thorium, uranium and plutonium in atomic energy, and in this video we will see applications of radioisotopes as tracers, and there are two applications we will study in this video. First one is a chemical investigation, that is esterification reaction, and second application structural determination, that is with respect to phosphorus pentachloride. And next two applications we will see in next video. So first application is chemical investigation esterification. Before that we will see some about the radioisotopes. So radioactivity has widespread applications in different fields of science and technology, and it emphasized the use of radioisotopes as labels in various methods to understand various problems, to solve that problems. So the isotopes therefore much useful in tracing various processes in chemistry, biology, agriculture section, industrial section, surgery and medicinal section. So the technique of study is called as tracer technique, and in this method the radioactive isotope or its compound is applied at one point of a system, and its movement is then traced by measuring radioactivity in the different parts of the system. Such isotopes are called as radioactive tracers. So we will see some of the applications related to these radioisotopes. First application is chemical investigation with respect to esterification reaction, that is reaction mechanism of esterification. So experimentally it is not possible to investigate the elimination of water in the esterification occurring either from the OH of the alcohol with H of an acid or vice versa, which will be shown in the following figure. That is, esterification reaction occurs in between acid and alcohol. Then one main problem is the elimination of water takes place. Then with respect to this upper part, that is part A, the H of acid and OH of alcohol contributed, then elimination of water will be possible and ester is formed. And another pathway B is, that is OH of acid and H of alcohol participated and water is eliminated. So to trace this oxygen, the labeling of oxygen takes place. So if labeled alcohol C2H5O18H is used instead of normal alcohol, the labeled alcohol is used for the esterification reaction, and it is found that the oxygen 18 goes into the ester, thus which shows that the alcohol contributes H while acid contributes OH, as shown by the lower mark in above equation. That is, part B is true one, because labeled oxygen goes into the ester product, that is CH3COO C2H5. So alcohol contribute H and acid contribute OH, and elimination of water takes place. This leads to mechanistic study that cleavage are the COH bond in acid and HO bond in alcohol, as all H and OR atoms being alike. This study was not possible without isotopic labeling. Without isotopic labeling we cannot conclude that the hydrogen and OH contribution takes place with respect to part A or with respect to part B. But by labeling oxygen as oxygen 18 in alcohol, we concluded part B is the correct pathway to produce the ester and water. So this is the first application, that is chemical investigation, reaction mechanism of esterification reaction. Then second application is structure determination in the case of phosphorus pentachloride. So chemical investigation with respect to structural determination, then study of phosphorus pentachloride. If a molecule contains two or more than two atoms of the same element, then the problem regarding their structural equivalence will be arises, that is arrangement. But by the technique of isotopic labeling, the problem can be solved by using labeling technique. For example, if phosphorus pentachloride PCl5 is considered, we would like to know whether all the 5 chlorine atoms are structurally in equivalent positions or not. By labeling we can conclude it. If PCl5 is synthesized by using PCl3 and labeled Cl2 with its radioisotope Cl36, and normal chlorine is in 35 form Cl36, and the product is subsequently hydrolyzed, we get the following reaction. Suppose when PCl3 reacted with chlorine gas Cl2 with the chlorine is in the labeled 36 form, then chlorine goes into the reaction, we are getting PCl5. But when we hydrolyze the PCl5 with water, we are getting PuCl3 with 2 times HCl is liberated. But here 2 chlorines are different than 3 chlorines. So experimentally it has been investigated that the entire radioactive remains with HCl in our equation and not any with the PuCl3. PuCl3 does not contain any labeled chlorine. This clearly shows that the 2 chlorine atoms which leave PCl5 to form 2 HCl must be in different positions from rest of the 3 chlorine atoms in PCl5. This experimental observation agrees with the trigonal bipyramidal structure for the PCl5 with 3 chlorine atoms in the trigonal plane while the other 2 along the axial positions, that is 3 equatorial and 2 axial. This is further supported from the fact that the equatorial PCl distances are shorter one as compared to axial or apical PCl distances. Axial PCl distance is larger one, so this is the axial is larger but equatorials are smaller one. So this is why when PCl5 is which is less stable and highly reactive in nature, so it is easily decomposes and gives more stable PCl3. So PCl5 decomposes to get PCl3 and Cl2. So in this case these 2 apical chlorines are larger one and equatorial chlorines are smaller one, and having PCl5 having trigonal bipyramidal or TBP diagram or TBP rearrangement. So this is about the applications of radioactive actives or radioisotopes as tracers. So thank you all of you for listening this.